Hello, and welcome to episode number 12 of My Trucking Life Truth, Trucking, and Tribulations from the Trucker's Table. In episode 11, we left off. I had bought my first truck at MSJ Trucking and 2000 model International, the mid roof, and you could still stand up inside of it. It wasn't that short. And so we were on our way in the owner operator world. So we got our first load out of South Alabama, heading up to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm running along. I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. I'm making 90 cents a mile, all miles loaded or empty. I mean, this is gonna be great. Well, we're running up I-85. We get through South Carolina. We get across North Carolina line. Well, there's a way station right there, right? So I pull into the way station, get across the way station. I start to pull out, and I heard something go kaboom. And I was like, dang, what the hell was that? And I kept going, and I pull over up there along the edge of the road. And I get out and look. I don't see anything. And I start to get back in the truck, and I hear somebody holler at me. I turn around and look, and there's a guy holding a big piece of drive shaft. he goes, hey, man, this fell out from under your truck. And I said, oh, hell. So I ran back and got it and picked it up and put it in the truck, and I looked between the differentials, and sure enough, that little universal joint thing was there, and it was clunking around. That's what I was hearing. So I creeped on up the road to the next exit, got off, and was trying to take it off myself, and I couldn't get it off. And, oh, man, I'll never forget that. So I got all this grease on me and everything. I'm dirty, so I keep a can of Gojo in the truck, right? So I took the Gojo and I'm cleaning my hands and everything so I can use the phone to call and let everybody know what's going on. And I went to sling the Gojo off my hands. And when I did, boom, my wedding ring goes flying. And there's a deep grass embankment, and it just landed out there somewhere. I have no idea where. So I was like, oh, crap. So I went and tried to find it real quick. I couldn't find it, but I knew about where it would be, So I went ahead and called, told MSJ what was going on. So they sent somebody out there to take the rest of that apart, and I could still drive the truck. And so I finished my load, got back to op, and they fixed it for me, no charge. And but the whole time I was waiting for the guy to come out here to take that off, I was looking for that ring, man. I was just inching along each little piece of grass, just looking. I couldn't find that thing nowhere. And I mean, I'd only been married a couple of months, and I'd already lost my wedding ring. So that was my first adventure on my first load. And so anyway, after that, we're tooling along. Everything's going great. I'm making good money. Even though it's 90 cents a mile, it's all miles loaded and empty, right? So you don't have to worry about deadhead and all this other stuff. But you're not self-dispatched. They're dispatching you, putting you on what load they want you on. However, you have the right to refuse, and you have to go back to the bottom of the list and wait for something else to come up, So that went along pretty good, and we were making decent money, And then I got to looking at the numbers, right? Trying to crunch the numbers and look and see how much I was spending on fuel and the loads that I was getting and everything else. And I felt like I was still being dispatched as a company driver, not as a owner-operator based off the loads that they were giving me. It wasn't loads that would benefit an owner-operator as much as it would benefit a company driver. And, I was like, I got to figure something out here. So at the time I had an iPhone. Oh, man, this is maybe, an iPhone 4 or 5 way back there. And so I pulled up C.H. Robinson and got on their website and used MSJ Trucking's DOT numbers and went in and set up me an account. And I started looking at their loads, seeing what they had and what we were getting through them. And so I had an idea about what was out there available for me. I mean, it didn't matter how much it was paying because I was getting a set rate per mile. But I wanted loads that were close to me, loads that had some miles on them that I could run and make some money, and not have to do a lot of sitting and everything else. So I I had called one of the dispatchers and I said, "Hey man," I said, "you got anything up here around? It was in North Central Louisiana, somewhere up in there." And he's like, "No, we don't have anything up there." And I knew it was a lie. I just seen it on the board, you know, that they had it there with C.H. Robinson, and it pissed me off because you're lying to me. I know there's stuff there. Don't make me sit and wait for a daggum load. I need to be rolling. And this is back when we had paper logs, so. And so I keep doing this. I'm running along. I keep watching the board, and I know I keep asking them about loads in this area and that area where I'm at, and they no, we don't go. And I know they do. So it happens more than once. So finally, I delivered up near Huntsville, Alabama, which isn't too far from Decatur, Alabama. And I think it's a FRM feed place up there, or something like that. And we have dropping hooks out of there. MSJ did. So I got done unloading. I wasn't going to sit and wait for him, to dilly-dally me around again. So I just went on over there, man. And there was a loaded trailer, and it was going back to Op. I took it. I didn't ask. I just took the trailer, took the load. Because it's going back to Ops, got to get there anyway, right? Why not let me go ahead and take it? Because think about it. And he was costing the company money, not just me. But he was deadheading a company, an owner-operator, further than he was deadheading a company driver. Now, a company driver, you still have to pay them when they deadhead. You still have to pay me when I deadhead. It's cheaper to pay the company driver to deadhead than it is to pay me to deadhead. So he was costing the company money, too. They should have been mad about that. So anyway, I pick up the load. I get halfway to Op. They call me. "Did you pick up a trailer so-and-so?" I'm like, "Yeah." Who put you on that trailer? I said, "I put myself on it." I went rogue. So we get back to the yard, man, and they're going off. The dispatchers, man. "We had that load set up for so-and-so and so." I said, "Well, why didn't you put me on it? I was right there." "Well, we had old Brenda." I said, "Well, whatever you had planned for him, you would have worked just as good for me. You knew I was going to be there, And so I said, "I'm tired of you telling me there's not loads when there are loads." And he said, "You calling me a liar?" I said, "I'm telling you, I know what there." I showed him my phone. I said, "Look, here's a list of the loads right here." "How you get that?" I said, "It's called technology. You ought to learn something about it." So I was giving it right back to him. And he picked up a piece of pipe. He walked up there and he slammed it down on the little, there's like a little window, so you can't get to the dispatchers. And there's a little thing, where they keep the sign-in sheets and everything. He took that dang pipe and he slammed it down on that little thing right about it and inside that window. And this dude's like 5'9", little bitty scrawny fart. He wouldn't have done that on the other side of that window. But he was behind that window. He knew he was safe. But he slammed that pipe down right there in front of me, and he goes, "That's it. It's either going to be me or you. One of us is gone at the end of the day." So now they have to bring Daddy into it. And when I say Daddy, I mean the owner of the company. He was like our dad. He was an older gentleman named Harold Soils. I've talked about him before in videos. Great man. Great man. It's the world of respect for this man. I would never do anything he told me not to do, So he calls me in his office, I go in there and I sit down. And he brought Andy, and Andy was the head dispatcher over all the dispatchers and stuff, And he's like, "We got to figure something out, boys. This ain't working." So I said, "Mr. Soils," I said, "I'm responsible for everything on that truck. I got to pay for the fuel. I got to pay for repairs. I got to pay for everything. I can't be sitting and not making money. I need to be rolling so I can make money. And it doesn't make sense for them to sit me or waste my time deadheading way over here, way over there. I know I'm getting paid for it, but still, it's costing you money, and I don't like it." And he goes, "Well, we got to work together as a team, He said, you may not know what they got planned. They don't have to tell you what they got planned. We just need you to haul the freight, you know. I was like, yes, sir, I understand. He said, I'll make sure you get your loads and you get your money and your miles and everything. And I said, I appreciate it. So, anyway, at the end of the day, the boy was still in there dispatching, and I was still driving. You know, I was a good driver. They never had a lot of trouble out of me other than a few wrecked trucks that we'll talk about. Wait a minute. We can talk about those now because this is after those have already happened. Okay, well, I had the one wreck, the rollover there in Hammond. I think we talked about it. And I actually put it in one of the videos. And then we had the one where I rear-ended the truck. So other than a couple of wrecks, I did pretty good. But anyway, I was a steady. I wasn't drinking and drugging and doing all that stuff that you have trouble with drivers. You know, I was reliable. I was going to be there when I said I was going to be there, and he could count on me. So that was the good side of me. But anyway, we went back, and I got a little bit better loads and a little bit better paychecks, and I was happy. I was happy. I was going to pay off my truck and everything, and I was going to stay there at MSJ. I had not planned on leaving. And then it happened. The one thing that I was dreading happening when I bought the truck, and it had me worried to death. It was going to happen, and when it happened, it turned my world upside down, and I started getting negative paychecks. And you can't get a negative paycheck, man, and live. You can't do it. So, not all the time. I mean, I got one, then a good one, then another negative, and then a halfway, and then an average one, then another. And it was just, it got to be too much. And so, I need to go back and tell you another thing, too. While I had this truck and I was driving, one of the ways I came up with to save money was I thought, I'll carry a spare tire with me. That'll save me some money. I won't have to buy a tire. And then I thought, well, if all they have to do is take the lug nuts off and put the tire on, and take the other one off and put the lug nuts back on, that'll save me even more money. So I got a rim and put me a tire on it. So I had the tire on the rim with the air in the tire, right? Not a good idea. So I had it mounted behind the cab of the truck, and all I had holding it down was a little flimsy strap, a little, ratchet strap, and not one of the big, thick, heavy-duty ones, a little small one like you have in your pickup truck. And that was stupid. This is where experience, you start learning stuff like this. I should have had a chain on it. Anyway, it had eventually wore and broke, but I didn't realize it had broke until it was too late. I get over to Demopolis, Alabama, stop at the Walmart there to grab some stuff. Well, by this time, the tire had broke and fell down and was laying on the catwalk. So if I just kept driving straight and never turned, it would have never fell off. It would have been fine. So I go to make a sharp U-turn to head back out. When I started making that turn, it sounded like a bomb went off. Boom! And the whole cab, sleeper, everything just moved forward. The whole thing just moved forward with me in it. And sorry, mosquitoes. So anyway, I was like, what the hell just happened? Did the engine blow up? What happened? So I get out and I look, and the radiator's busted, and there's fluid coming out of it and everything else. And I look back behind the truck, and there's that spare tire laying on the catwalk, and the corner of the trailer catches that center of that tire, and that tire against the cab, and it pushed it and busted it off the mounts and moved it forward. That I thought had totaled out the truck. When they did the thing on the insurance, I thought it was totaled. And they said, no, we can fix it. So there was about 2 weeks there where I didn't have a truck. But Mr. Soils put me back as a company driver. I could use a company truck. And, and I did that until I got my truck back, And I forgot. It didn't cost me very much. I think the insurance paid most of it, and I paid a little bit on the deductible. But that could have really messed me up big time. But like I said, Mr. Soros was there, and as long as he's there, everything is good, right? So things changed, and we started getting those negative paychecks, and it was time to go. And I'll tell you why I started getting negative paychecks and what happened that forced me out from MSJ Trucking. And I'll tell you all about it in episode number 13 of My Trucking Life: Truth, Trucking, and Tribulations from the Trucker's Table. All right. Y'all stay safe. Have a great day. And we'll talk at you soon.